Good morning, everyone. Janey here. Welcome back to my garden. I am working in the shade garden again, the secret shade garden. It is coming together. All the trees on my neighbor's side of the property are starting to flush out, and it's just making this whole space look beautiful. I can really see it starting to come together. So what I am going to be planting in the shade garden today are two annuals. Well, one of them, actually both of them, I have to say, both of them are perennials for me, which means they are sold as annuals, but actually they will winter over for me in my zone 9B. So let me show you what I've got going on in my cart right here for today. So both of these varieties are new to me. I have not grown them before. I have grown a version of one of them, and that is Surefire White Begonia. I've grown Surefire Rose. I am obsessed with that plant. I love it so much. It's just such an easy plant that gives you so much bang for your buck for such a little thing. And the thing that I love the most about it is that you can put it in sun or shade. It's going to be just as happy. And that is the same with Surefire White. I did see these grown in the ground when I went to Michigan to visit Michigan. But, oh, hey, Monty. But, in Michigan, I mean, I was there pretty early. I think I was there in June or July. And we have a much longer growing season, and we get much hotter than Michigan. So they were kind of small in Michigan, but I have a feeling they're going to get a lot larger for me. The Surefire Rose gets pretty tall. I mean, like I want to say like 3 feet tall. It's amazing. It's an incredible plant, and I can't wait to see how this plant does. This plant gets up to 24 inches tall, so 2 feet tall. It is zones 9 through 11, I want to say. It is zones 10 through 11. So technically, it shouldn't survive in my garden, but Surefire Rose has survived in my garden for years, so I'm not too worried about it. I really do think that these are gonna winter over for me. Then the other variety I have not tried. This is called Endless Illumination Browalia. This is a fantastic shade plant. I first saw this plant when I was at Tracy's house planting poppies. I've been talking about her and how she likes to use saturated colors. I would say this is a saturated color, but this is just a fantastic plant because it does bring some color to the shade, which sometimes can be really difficult. So this one can take part shade to shade. It gets about 16 inches tall, I think 14 inches wide. The only thing I was reading about the care for Browalia, and they did say make sure you don't over fertilize. So I'm not totally sure what that means. I'm going to have to call some of my contacts at Proven Winners and see if that means that, you know, I don't fertilize it with the water soluble fertilizer every week. I'm not totally sure. So right now it's the weekend, so I can't bug them, but when I find that information, I will let you all know. So before I get started planting, let me take you around and show you what the shade garden is looking like right now. I have my camellia right here. This is the Pearl Maxwell. I think it's done blooming. I need to come in and take off all the old blooms. Over here, I have my heuchera. Here's the dressed up prom dress one that's beautiful. Shadow tag heucherella, and then my absolute favorite, wild rose heuchera. It's beautiful. My false hydrangea vine is not coming up quite yet, but you can see it's got lots of buds on it. Over here, kind of the same thing. Over here, I have a couple pots. One of a hydrangea that I inherited from my neighbor that passed away. You can see it starting to bloom. I am going to be planting this in the ground, probably like right here, but I only want to plant it in the ground when it's dormant, and I missed my window earlier this year. So it's going to stay in the pot for this year, and then next year I will take it out of the pot. I do have my Japanese maple arium and my pufferfish hydrangea. I also want to put those in the ground. And then my Jack of Diamond Brunnera that are just gorgeous right here. But you can see this little spot right here does get sun. Like it does kind of get some sun, not a ton of it. What time is it? Gosh, I want to say it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. And you can kind of see that it's definitely getting nailed right here. So what I'm thinking, we'll see how these do. Like the hostas, I might have to end up moving those hostas, might get too much sun. But what I want to do right here, this is where I want to put the Surefire White Begonia. And that's why I love that plant so much, because it's going to get a ton of shade shade in this spot, but also for a couple hours, it's going to get some hot sun and it's going to be able to handle it no problem. And so I think that'll be really pretty. Those get about 2 feet tall. And so it'll just be a nice backdrop for the Jack of Diamonds Brunnera. Really pretty. So then coming over here, more hostas, more Jack of Diamonds. This is the Empress Wu hosta. You can see this beautiful bush right here. These are suckers. These are suckers from this olive tree. And they've just kind of been growing like crazy, and I'll cut them back and then they'll grow back. So I do have to take care of them. I'm going to take care of them later. But first I want to get these plants in the ground. And then I do want to address the fountain. We'll get there. The Endless Illumination Browalia, I think I want to do like little groupings, kind of like spread all over to kind of like, you know, do 3 here, 5 over here, a couple over here, just to kind of spread this beautiful purple color all around the shade garden. So I think what I'll do right now is I'll lay everything out, and then I'll get it in the ground, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what I did. I've got all my annuals planted for today. I've got 6 of the Browalia right there, kind of in a little grouping. I'm planning to plant something right in this space right here, so I'm trying to leave it a little bit open. Right up here, I have kind of another line of the Surefire White Begonia, and that repeats over on the other side of the fountain right here. I think that that's going to be really, really pretty right there with the Brunnera right in front of it. I think it's going to be gorgeous. And then I did continue some of the Surefire White right ahead of here, ahead of the Brunnera and ahead of the Peony, and then a couple more of the Browalia in front. So I think it should be pretty. I think it should bring some color to this area, which is really nice. I mean, I do have some foliage color. I do have these little blue flowers for the Brunnera, but those are going to go away pretty soon. So I think it's good to get some color in here. So plants are done. Now for this guy. And I got Jason here to help me. So a couple weeks ago, Jason and I put the fountain together. We put a pump in. It was working well. We got it working. At first, it was spewing its water out. It was hitting poor Monty on the head. I think it's a little too strong.
Yep. You might want to turn down that pump a little bit.
Ah! Sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
It was a little strong.
It was a little strong. So the water comes out right here of the lion's mouth, and it's supposed to go into this little bowl right here. But instead it was spewing out onto the sidewalk. So we thought it was, something with the tubing. We were trying to figure it out. We finally got it working right, left it. Came back, turned it off, came back the next day, turned it back on, and again, it started spewing across across the sidewalk. So I don't know, we had it turned off for a couple weeks, and then finally I realized, okay, I'm gonna go look back at my orders and I'm gonna see how strong the pump was for the other fountain, my bird fountain. So I went back and I looked at that pump that I had purchased, and that pump was a 160 gallon per hour pump. This pump that I purchased for this one right here, this is a 400 gallon per hour pump. So no wonder, right? Oops, that kind of explains it. So I might have over purchased. I think I was worried. I was worried about the water coming up through the, like having to go up through the lion's mouth. So I think I remember buying a stronger pump, but apparently I overbought. So anyway, I got another pump. This is the 160 gallon per hour pump. We're just going to replace that one and see if we can start the fountain again and have it be just a little less.
Yeah.
Huh?
A little calmer.
A little calmer. That's a good way to put it. So Jason's here to help me lift off this really heavy back thing because the cord goes through like a little groove right there. So we got to do that. And then we'll clean it out, fill it with water, and hopefully get it started again. So this is how we clean the fountains out, which is, it makes,
great.
Isn't it so great? So this is a shop vac that we took the filter out of. One of you lovely, lovely, lovely people told me how to do this back at my last property. And it just changed our lives, right? So it just vacuums out all the old water. We try and get most of the water out, but it just vacuums out all the old water. So let's see, let's open this. So it comes with some tubing. Oh yeah, it's a lot smaller.
It's a baby pump.
It's a baby pump.
Oh, you got that?
Yeah.
I was thinking just take it sideways. Oh no, there's a post there.
Yeah. There's. Okay, I got that.
I'm good.
All right.
Easy.
Easy enough. Okay, everybody cross your fingers. What is up with this? Can you turn it down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
No, that's good. You don't want any stronger than that. I'm gonna go get something to unclog that.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go. Okay, my goodness. Done. So we got the plants in, we've got the fountain working. I'm hoping that that's the last troubleshooting we have to do for this fountain. I kind of don't think so, but you know what? Positive thinking, right? So I still got to come here and I still got to fix all these suckers, but I'll do that later. Kind of a boring job, but I'm happy. I'm happy with how this is turning out. I really like sitting over here, and I think I want to put a really comfy chair, like one really big comfy chair that someone can like sit there and read. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Window boxes, black shutters. It's gonna be gorgeous over here. And new fence eventually. So I have a plan for something right there, and then I do want to get some type of evergreen to go right there, maybe like a topiary or something like that. So this is coming along. It's getting there. I'm glad to get things in. I'm glad to get color in. That was important to me. So one more time, I want to thank the person who taught us to use the shop vac for the fountain. That was genius. It was life-changing. And I just want to say a huge thank you. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.